Coming to you almost live from the Herbert I. Greenberg Studios at WHIG, it's Up Late with Sam Bass.
Thank you, Scott Smith, and welcome to the show. Hey, I want to extend a huge thank you to our presenting sponsor, Sparkling Creations. And you might be wondering, what makes Sparkling Creations so special? Well, at Sparkling Creations, they don't just create, but they also sparkle. So they're a premier party rental and event planning company. They offer a variety of party rental supplies. They specialize in making your event relaxing, fun, and stress-free as possible from beginning to end. Check them out on their website, asparklingcreation.com. You can definitely plan on having a good time. Speaking of good times, have you heard about the exciting new program, the loyalty card over at Fields Record Exchange in Wilson? For every $10 you spend before tax, you'll get a stamp. Here's the card here. I'm working on this one. This one's already full. Robbie's going to put one up so you can take a look at it. But once you collect 10 stamps, you'll get $10 off your next purchase. Plus, if you mention yours truly, you get an extra stamp. So make sure when you go see Phil, you tell him that Sam sent you. So whether you're looking for vinyl, cassettes, DVDs, video games, and even those nostalgic 8-tracks, which I buy, believe it or not, make sure you visit Phil's Record Exchange and don't forget to tell them that Sam sent you. Folks, tonight we have a truly remarkable guest joining us. He is our very first guest that has two first names. And no, that's not any kind of a riddle, although we do intend to have a little fun with it later. Anyway, not only is he the mastermind behind the Small Shops Mall and Trade It! He's also a local beacon of entrepreneurship in our community. I'm speaking of none other than the set-crashing Fred George. So a little background on the last picture Robbie threw up there. You can see where him and Dr. Gina Node, she's a good friend of mine, they sent me a pic of them. They were in here trying to take over my set, but we'll get to that later. So do you guys remember my interview with Donald Trump a few months back? I thought it went pretty well, but I don't think he was impressed. If you look at his post on Truth Social, Robbie, can you pop that up? Take a look at what he had to say about me. That actually reads like something John Chet would have written. But a masterclass in mediocrity? Who, me? I guess he's not a fan. Can you believe he called me stammering Sam Bass? Oh well, sometimes bad publicity is better than none, so I'll take what I can get. So ladies and gentlemen, we have a great, exciting guest, an exciting show tonight ahead with our featured guest, the man with two first names, Fred George is here. But before we get started, let's have some fun with a special top 5 of famous individuals who are in the same situation name-wise. So here we go. Robbie, you and Jamie, look out. Put on your hard hats. Cards will be flying. I've got my cards backwards, so here we go. Number 5, one of Sandra's favorites, Elton John, two first names. The icon who proves there's no limit to glitter, feathers, crazy glasses, or first names that they can flaunt. Number 4, Jimmy Dean, the country crooner and Sausage Sultan. How's that for a title? Sausage Sultan, I like that. The king of breakfast and country tunes, just to name 2. All right, number 3, it's one of my favorites, Fred's too, Alice Cooper. This is definitely a roll call nightmare. Welcome to my roll call nightmare. First name or last name, boy or girl, those poor teachers. Anyway, school might be out for the summer, as the song goes. But if it's makeup tips you need, school's still in session on YouTube. So apparently, Alice has jumped on the influencer bandwagon, and he's doing makeup tutorials. I don't believe it. Jamie, can you please fact check that? I don't think Alice needs the money. Number 2, Ricky Bobby. That is today's Will Ferrell shout out. Will,
Just a big, hairy American winning machine. If you ain't first, you're last.
He might not have been known for his elegant ways or words, but he sure nailed it when he said, if you ain't first, you're last. Was he talking about his names? Who knows? And the number one, two first name person, George Michael, the man who made You Gotta Have Faith to Faith, and Guy Liner a perfect pair. Because if you're going to believe in something, you better damn well believe in your eyeliner game. Oh, no. I should know. So, sit tight. We're going to be right back with Rocky Mount's very own man with two first names, Fred George. We'll be right back.
Music Exchange of Wilson offers thousands of vinyl LPs, CDs, cassettes, 8-tracks. They even have reel-to-reels, DVDs, Blu-rays, VHS, an abundance of music. Check them out today. Phil's Music Exchange in Tarboro, 207 West Tarboro Street, downtown Wilson, or philsmusicexchange.com.
If you're planning a party, wedding, birthday party, baby shower, or corporate event, Sparkling Creations can make it memorable for you. With tents, tables, bouncy houses, and more. We can even provide a fire pit for outdoor events. If you want to be adventurous, we have a mechanical bull. You name the event, and Sparkling Creations has you covered. Located at 976 North Winstead Avenue, Sparkling Creations, where we make every event sparkle.
Welcome back, and as promised, I am here with Fred George, or is it George Fred?
Yes.
Okay, so it's either way. So what you're telling me is this a real name, or is it a cover-up for something else?
I'm not allowed to say.
Okay. Because, you know, my whole thing about Fred or George or whoever you are, I've always thought he looked like a mafioso kind of guy, but that's not the truth. I know that's not the truth. He's a good guy.
I may or may not be a witness protection.
So has your name ever caused any issues throughout your life with it being Fred, two first names?
In school, of course.
I can imagine.
The teachers would get it backwards.
You had the same situation Alice Cooper did.
Oh, yeah.
Except for you were a guy.
Yeah, there you go. And I wear a slightly less makeup.
There you go, slightly less. So we had a picture earlier from the program with you sitting in front of our set here. And everybody at WIG has set envy. So what was the story with that?
I was here. We had been on Gina's show, which was great. I love Gina.
She's great.
She is a national treasure. Great for if you're looking to go into entrepreneurship. She knows a lot. Mm-hmm. And I wanted a picture with her, and she said, "Let's steal Sam Bass's set. He'll hate it."
I loved it, actually. So you've been instrumental when you created Small Shop Small. It's a very unique shopping experience out there.
Thanks.
And it's become a cornerstone actually for Rocky Mount small businesses here. Tell me a little about your journey and what inspired you to do that.
Well, I'm 61 years old. I've been in business for myself, mostly retail, since I was about 20. So about 40 years of experience. And for the last 20 years especially, people come up to me and say, "Fred, how can I get into retail?" And the only reasonable thing for me to say is you shouldn't. Because if you've never been in retail before, it's stacked against you. The landlord won't give you a good deal.
Right.
They're going to give you a lease that even if the number looks good, it's not going to be a good lease. They're going to demand you personally guarantee the lease, which you should never do in business, ever. You're not ready to deal with employees. You're not ready to deal with sign companies and in all of the permitting, and it's just too much. So I wanted to create kind of a incubator project. So people who wanted to go into retail could come in very simply, like it was in the 1800s. You just get some products, price them, and put it out for sale. So we take care of all the licensing, the building rent and maintenance and credit card companies and software and all that garbage, and the employees, which is the biggest one. And people can just set up their shop, price their stuff, go home, and we're there selling it for them 7 days a week. And we've had some people who've ran with it and done real, real well. Some people have done less well. That's the nature of business. but it's been a really great way to sort of help other people get into retail, because brick and mortar retail, the ladder of success for brick and mortar retail, the bottom 6 or 7 rungs are gone. Unless you've already got $1 million to get a franchise, you're not going to get treated fairly in the retail world. So this sort of gets people up to a level where maybe they can jump and reach the next rung.
So if you've never seen the concept that Fred has at small shops, you have to go by there. It's such a cool concept. I just love walking around out there.
Thanks.
Tell me a little bit, I know you've got the traded store as well. Tell me a little bit about the diamond situation you guys are doing out there.
That's our newest thing. So in the jewelry world right now, the market has completely been upended. Diamonds, which are controlled by one very wealthy, very evil family called the De Beers, who will do anything to keep their block on the diamond market, they're now being pretty much driven out of business by lab-created diamonds. The diamonds they create in labs are prettier, for the most part. The color and clarity are great, and they're about 1/4 of the price of diamonds they dig out of the dirt, with all the blood diamonds and all the shipping and all that. So it's the fastest growing jewelry segment right now. And I was able to, just through sheer dumb luck, make really good friends with the US president of the largest diamond producer in the world. They're out of India. And so he's selling to me at prices that are, quite frankly, ridiculous. I can buy as cheap as Zales can, and I don't have the same overhead. So we're able to sell, diamond studs for 2 1-carat diamond studs and 14-karat gold for $800-900. I'm less than half the price of the jewelry stores.
And I've seen them, they're gorgeous. I mean, they're not like zirconium. You think you're looking at,
They're
it's
real
the real deal.
diamonds.
They are.
No human on earth can tell that from a mined diamond without special equipment. I've got a $3,000 machine in every one of my stores, so I can tell the difference. Without that machine, no human on earth can tell the difference.
That's close. So I'm going to switch gears a little bit. You do some seminars out at Nash Community College.
Yeah.
So tell me, what do you enjoy about that, and the counseling you do? Tell me a little bit about that.
It's been amazing for me. So when we set up in Rocky Mount, I never knew anything about the small business centers in community colleges. And we were setting up small shops. I met the director of the small business center at Nash Community College. She came in to talk to us. And she let me know there were opportunities to do seminars, that it didn't pay a lot, but that I could talk to people who were just starting their entrepreneurial journey and give them some of the things I picked up. I don't have a degree. I ran out of money, took a semester off in about 1986.
I get it.
It's been a long semester, but I've kind of got a doctorate from the School of Hard Knocks in entrepreneurship. And so standing in front of a room full of people who are just starting their journey and being able to let them learn from some of my mistakes, and I've made a lot. And in the School of Hard Knocks, tuition is high, because every mistake I've made has cost me a lot of money.
You got skin in the game.
A lot. And I love it. I'll see the folks that I've counseled or taught in classes around town, and they'll catch up with me. They'll tell me how their business journey is going. Some of them have had successes. Some of them have had failures. The most heartbreaking ones are the ones who haven't tried yet. You've got to take that first step. And that's what I counsel people. Look, you're not going to learn how to drive your car sitting in a parked car in a parking lot.
Right.
You've got to start the engine and go. But I love it. I don't have any classes coming up in the next couple of months. I've got a summer class in August, I guess fall. But I like to do 2 or 3 a year, 7-8 week courses where I can really dig into how to start your business with these folks. And it's great. I love it.
So like I said, a beacon of entrepreneurship in the community. He's a beacon.
They've got a lot of good people there at the Small Business Center, though.
Yeah, they really do. And I recommend a lot of people over there myself. So.
It's a resource that nobody knows about, that only North Carolina has. Virginia, they don't have community college small business centers. South Carolina, they don't. This is something we have in North Carolina that I'm very critical of politicians, but that's one good thing our North Carolina politicians gave us.
Right.
And if you're looking to start a business, call the Small Business Center in whatever county you're in, Nash, Edgecombe, Wilson, and they'll be glad to help you, and it's a lot of resources.
Yeah. Okay, really changing gears now. I heard rumors that you like to spend a lot of time in mosh pits, and I want to know, number one, is that true?
Oh, yeah.
And number two, kind of tell them a little bit about what that is.
So at these hard rock and heavy metal concerts, you'll have a bunch of guys, mostly. There'll be a woman or two in there, but they don't get hit by the men. You don't bump into a woman in that environment because you'll get beat up. We all get in a big group and we just ram at each other as hard as we can. You're not punching or kicking. Punk rock, they do some of that.
Right.
Rock and roll, they don't. You're not punching, you're not grabbing, you're just ramming into people to knock them down. And it's a great sport for me because, as you might have noticed, I'm not very tall. And having a low center of gravity is a huge advantage. And I go to the gym a little bit, so I'm fairly strong. And there's nothing more fun for me than being in a mosh pit and taking a 25 or 30-year-old who's a foot taller than me and has 50 pounds on me and knocking him on his butt.
Who deserves it, by the way?
It's great fun. And after I knock him down, we'll smile. I'll help him up. He'll clap me on the back. We'll be friends. It's all in fun. But I love it. I didn't start going back to mosh pits until I was about 50. I'd sort of laid off between 30 and 50.
But didn't you tell me you cut your hair into a mohawk and all of that, and you
yes.
get your aggression out? And...
If I'm going to a rock festival, like I've got one in May, Welcome to Rockville, 4 days, 200,000 people, about 150 bands, I'll shave my head into a mohawk. I'll dye it some goofy color. I'm thinking orange this year. And because I've got to dye my hair because if they see gray hair, I'm afraid somebody's going to go easy on me, because I'm older than their parents or grandparents. And I don't want anybody going easy because then I'll feel guilty knocking them down. So I dye my hair some stupid color and my beard. I don't shave it off. I just dye it orange or whatever.
Right.
So people don't notice how old I am until after I've knocked them down. And it's great fun. It's ridiculous and it's stupid.
Have you ever gotten hurt?
I've broken some bones, but never my own.
The sound of cracking bones. It's just like music. So paintball, that's another hobby of yours. Tell me about that.
Oh, I love paintball. I mean, it's just fun. You go out in the woods. The weather's got to be good. I'm not going out when it's 0 degrees. But there's 3 or 4 paintball fields within half an hour, 45 minutes of here. Mm-hmm. They'll rent you everything. I don't own my own paintball gun. I could grab it from trade it, but I haven't ever. I'll bring my wife and kids and some friends, and we'll just go, just go shoot each other. It's great fun. Nobody gets hurt. I generally get my wife and kids behind me, and I'm leading the charge. So it's a family-friendly, team-building kind of a thing, and it's great.
So also, I want to know the story of why you pulled for the Raiders. I know they were Oakland, Los Angeles, now the Las Vegas Raiders. And tell me about Raider Bat, the Raider Bat costume.
Well, they were Oakland, L.A., Oakland,
That's right.
Vegas. So you missed one trip. When I was 5 years old, I'm half Arab. So my dad is full-blooded Arab, never lived in the Middle East. My grandfather is full-blooded Arab. I can be. My cover story for my FBI witness protection is I'm half Lebanese.
Okay, get it.
So in the cover story, at least, they're arguing about football. And Arabs and Italians will both stand this close to each other and yell. They weren't arguing. They weren't mad. They were having a great time. But it was like, Namath, you're crazy. Johnny Unitas is twice the quarterback name of this. And they're this far apart yelling. So I'm watching them yell about football, and there's 2 games on TV. You had the big wooden TV on the floor and a little black and white with bunny ears on top of it. And I'm like, I better pick a team because football must be a really important thing because I think my dad's going to punch my grandfather in the face. And so the Vikings were playing the Packers in black and white. And I thought about choosing them because they have those horns. And I thought they were real because I was a stupid 5-year-old. And the Raiders are playing the Chiefs in color. And I just about decided on the Vikings, but the sound was up on the Raiders game, and there was a late hit by a Raiders safety.
Fred Atkinson.
Atkinson, absolutely, it was Atkinson.
I remember it.
He comes down, does what he'll call the hook, knocks the Chiefs guy unconscious. Both benches clear. There's a whole fight. Atkinson scoots out when the fight starts because he's not a very big man. But the announcer's like, oh my God, there's no excuse for that in football. That's a dirty play. There's no reason for that. And I said, those guys really want to win. That's my team.
There you go.
And you can't switch football teams.
No.
Yeah, you can get a tattoo removed. You can get a divorce. You can switch religions even. You can't change football teams once you pick one.
It's a lifetime deal, right?
Yeah, you're stuck. So I've been a hardcore Raiders fan, and everybody younger than me in my family also are Raiders fans because, as an older brother, you bully them until they change their mind. And then when I go to the games, I occasionally like to wear a costume. I've got a Raider Bat costume. It's a movie quality cowl, and then a nice looking suit of armor that's rubber. all black, and put a Raiders logo here or an Al Davis sticker. The costume changes from year to year. I change out parts. But I have great fun with that. Show up in costume. That means I get free alcohol at the tailgates from the other Raiders fans and free food. But you've got to stop for pictures because people want to get, and I'm going to change it. I got a Christmas present or a birthday present. I'm going to change the costume. I'm going to try doing, instead of Raider bat, Iron Raider bat.
Okay, here we go.
Which will involve this particular mask, which also moves. Check this thing out.
I know that's not hot.
It'll be hot after a while.
See, you can do that so you can take a drink.
Yeah, I can do it to drink or eat. So yeah, this just.
Offline. Countermeasures ready.
Very cool.
It'll be fun with the Raiders, with the Batman costume.
Oh, yeah.
And just the Iron Man. I better turn it off all the way, huh?
Well, you get the whole Iron Man costume too. You need to go ahead.
It's the wrong colors.
Invest in that.
Yeah, I'd have to switch to being a San Francisco 49ers fan or,
It is
or
49ers fan.
a Commanders. They're called the Commanders this year, right?
Yeah, and then
About every couple of years they switch up.
Yeah,
so I don't
exactly.
know. I think they're the Commanders. It'd be a good Commanders costume.
you would. So when you're not an entrepreneur, Mohawk sporting, Mosh Pit diving Raiders fan, you're also in a local musical. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, this is sort of a first for me. I like to do new things. I think it keeps your brain fresh. I'm 61. I want to try something new every couple of years to try to keep my brain from.
I'll have to remember
rusting.
that when I get that old.
Yeah, one of these days. But my two youngest kids were trying out for auditioning for a play, the Addams Family musical. They said, "Dad, you should try out." And I'm like, "Well, I can't sing, I can't dance. It's a musical. Sure, I'll try out because I know there's no danger of them casting me." So I show up, I do my little audition. Acting isn't hard, I don't think. I'm an experienced actor. I acted in a play in high school once in 1980.
That's a lot of experience.
It was a very good play, I thought. I played a scarecrow, but not a very big part. But anyway, they cast me. I think they were really low on men auditioning for the play. So I've got a lead role in the darn thing. It's a small lead role, but I have lines and my own songs and stuff.
What's the character?
His name is Mal. He's the father of Lucas, who is in love with Wednesday Addams, and she's in love with him.
So where's it going to be held?
It'll be at the Imperial Center.
And when is that?
March 28th and 29th.
Okay.
And
Make sure you get your tickets.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. And it's a funny play. And I am hoping to be good enough not to ruin the experience for anybody. but it's great. And Ms. Bortner, who's the director, is amazing. She's actually the drama teacher at Northern Nash, but she's very, very good.
So you're going to continue to do future roles?
You know, I might do a couple more just for fun. I like to try out for a non-musical. I think in a non-musical I could maybe deserve a role.
Yeah.
Because acting's not hard. If you've been in sales, you know how to act. And it's fun. But we'll see. I want to do this one first and see how I like it. I'll be actually, yeah.
I guess you were too short to play Lurch.
Probably, yeah. Oh, and the person they have playing Lurch is amazing. I wouldn't have given me that part.
Wow.
Against
I'm
him.
going to go see that.
Yeah, it's a good play. And they've got the March 28th and 29th, it's the adult cast. They've also got a kids cast of teenagers. That'll be the next weekend. And so the rehearsals, they rehearse this together, so I get to learn a lot from the other guy playing my same role. He's a way more experienced actor than me at 17.
Wow.
So it's a lot of fun.
So we're going to change up a little bit. I want you to talk a little bit about your family, your wife, Erin. How did y'all meet? I know y'all got married at the Outer Banks years ago. Tell me something about that.
Well, Erin, I've been very bad at picking wives in the past. So Erin is number 3. But I think the first one I married because I was in love with her, which is all deep and mushy. But the first 2 were for wrong reasons, and we won't go into that. I'm not blaming anybody for anything. I made decisions I made. Erin and I became friends, and just her marriage was having problems, which had nothing to do with me. The relationship, I think, she'd outgrown the relationship, but that's way too deep for this show. But we became friends, and I kind of developed a crush on her, but she was clueless. Her daughter, Hannah, who's now my youngest, because I don't believe in stepkids.
Right.
Her daughter, Hannah, evidently finally had to tell her, Mom, Fred likes you. She's like, oh, I know, we're friends. And she's like, no, he likes you.
Likes you.
And Hannah basically arranged our first date. She was 10 years old at the time, I think.
That's cool.
And we dated for a little while, and then we got married 4 years ago, I think, in the Outer Banks. I'm really bad at dates. If I miss a anniversary, I'm going to get in trouble, though.
There you go.
And it's been good. She shares a lot of my goals. She's got a business background. She doesn't get mad when I have to work later. We have to cancel something because there's an emergency at one of the stores. We're real well suited, I think. And I'm in love with her, which helps.
Very good. So she surprised you with a really big 60th birthday party.
Holy cow, that was amazing. I was like, hey, it's 60th birthday, something, maybe a big dinner, something would be good. Mm-hmm. So she's taking me out to dinner, Rocky Mountain Mills. I'm like, oh, cool, we'll go to Prime Steakhouse. That's great.
Oh.
And we turn in instead of the event space, and there's a couple hundred of my friends there. There's this band, Dr. Bacon, which is not hard rock. They're from Western North Carolina. They're amazing. Listen to them. They get a song called Girls from Caroline that is amazing. I love them. They're local. She had them there playing. Open bar, which was great for me.
Everybody loves an open bar.
Everybody loves an open bar. That's absolutely true. It was amazing. I told her afterwards, look, honey, I'll never be able to top this. I'm not the event planner. You are.
Right.
It's not that I don't love you enough to plan something like this. I just don't have the capability.
Well, that's great. I mean, it sounds like you're living the dream. Everything's going great in your life, so I'm very happy to hear that. There's another picture we want to put up of you posing with a leghorn hen.
Smudge.
I didn't know it would be named Foghorn Leghorn, but it's Smudge.
Her name was Smudge. Yep. When she was a little bitty yellow fuzzball, she had a little black birthmark here on her.
I see.
So we were all picking out chickens, and I wondered when I could remember because they all looked the same. We had a bunch of chicks, and the kids picked a bunch. I was like, I'll take that one. I'll call her Smudge. And she was a really good pet chicken.
So you were, the picture we have, you're twinning with Smudge. You both have like red.
The year I had an orange mohawk, yeah. Yeah, she had the red up here and the red down here, and so did I, yeah. It was for one of the rock festivals I go to.
So the rock festivals, I want to get back to that 1 second. How many people attend these things? You told me it's like hundreds of thousands, is that correct?
The bigger ones I go to have up to 200,000 people. Yeah,
God.
Daytona in May will have 200,000 people that welcome to Rockville.
How many bands are there?
130 or so.
God, that is
And amazing
unbelievable.
bands. I mean, if you like rock,
Yeah.
amazing bands. Some of the newer rock, some of the older rock. I've seen Alice Cooper there, puts on a great show. We talked about that off air.
Mm-hmm.
Alice Cooper's amazing. There'll also be Disturbed, and Five Finger Death Punch, and have you heard The Who? Not the old British band The Who, but the HU?
Never heard of them.
They're Mongolian. The instruments they play are not American instruments. They don't sing in English, although they have American singers singing over some of their stuff. Give them a listen, The Who. Or if you like rock, they're amazing. They put on an amazing show. But yeah, I camp out. Erin won't be going to Rockville with me this year because she doesn't like the heat in Daytona in May. I'm bringing one of my good friends. We camp out. You go, you might see 10 bands in the morning, come back, have a little bit of bourbon, take a nap, have some lunch, go back and listen to another 5 bands, and 4 days of that in the mosh pits. It's a great vacation, but I need a little bit of rest afterwards because 4 days in the mosh pits gets you a little sore.
I can imagine. Well, look, we're running out of time. This has been great. Thank you, George. I don't know what your real name is.
Fred George.
But for you coming tonight, I would like to make a presentation to you. These are very rare in Rocky Mount. This is an actual Up Late with Sam Bass t-shirt.
Holy cow.
So you can wear that to one of these mosh pits, and it's going to make you a little bit stronger.
Heck yeah.
I can promise that.
Maybe I'll wear it to rehearsal and it'll make me sing a little better.
There you go. I doubt that, but you can do that.
I like it. Thank you.
Look, I want to thank you so much for coming on. It's been great having you. You're a good guy. You're great in the community. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I wanted to tell you, every Thursday night, right here on Up Late with Sam Bass at 10 o'clock, next time, we've got David Crabtree, formerly of WRAL. He's going to be sitting right here where George Fred City. So make sure you tune in.